supporting the Labour vote in industrial skinning grade. 33-year-old Ashok Kumar, a scientist for British Steel, expects most of the people in this part of the constituency to be his supporters.
Helen? Hannah. Hannah. Okay. You said it. Hannah. Hannah, you have a sticker now. Don't forget. Vote off. All right. Vote first then. All right. Starting young. Anybody else?
10 minutes away, the Conservative candidate, Michael Bates, launched a rival display. This time, it was outside the hotel, formerly owned by the family which ran the local ironstone pits. At least the sky that overlooked Langbaurgh had a spectacular uniformity, because down below there's little that unites the disparate communities that form the constituency. The diversity of the constituency has meant the campaign has lacked focus. Ashok Kumar's attempts to drum up support on a wet Saturday afternoon during the Rugby World Cup final by raising issues such as the economy and health has made some impact in Labour strongholds.
We're fighting for a very clear agenda, whether our health service will survive as it is now or whether we'll have few jobs in the future. Okay.
But Labour's campaign appears to have had less effect in some parts of Langbaurgh.
Michael Bates, your Conservative candidate, is here in Langbaurgh to meet you today.
The Conservatives might look as though they're attending a burial, but are in fact having the more pleasant experience of finding that their vote is holding firm in this case below, the more prosperous suburbs of Middlesbrough.
This is John McGregor, leader of the House of Commons.
Very pleased to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Very pleased to meet you, yes.
And I hope you'll be supporting my cause.
Definitely.
That's marvellous.
The farming vote is also crucial for the Conservatives. Two former agriculture ministers went to extraordinary lengths to firm up support. This prize cow doesn't have a vote, but its owner does.
Aspire to improve. Well, quite honestly, we can't find a fault in this one.
The clear definition of Labour and Conservative strongholds has made it more difficult for the Liberal Democrats to make inroads into the support of either of the main parties. Political allegiance is more varied in areas around the market town of Gisborough, the home of the Liberal Democrats candidate Peter Allen, who thinks the early polls underestimated their support.
We've fought a very good campaign. I think we can still do very well. It's going to be interesting to see what the result is like. I think we're going to have one or two opinion pollsters with a lot of egg on their face because it's just such a difficult constituency to poll.
What the polls did show was that the health service was the issue that most concerned voters. Labour deployed the same techniques that helped them to win the Monmouth by-election, visiting hospitals soon to become self-governing trusts and arguing that the government's reforms meant creeping privatisation.
Well, I'll tell you what, no. I wasn't allowed to see my own children for the first 24 hours. So I've seen your baby 22 hours before I could see my own.
This half-hour-old baby was the youngest participant in Labour's slick campaign.
I didn't think you'd have had time to go out and get it before I brought it here. There we are. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A happy accident for the Conservatives was the unhappy accident that produced Mrs. Bates' injured leg, a personal setback put to political use. She was treated on the NHS and she works for the health service. Her injured leg featured prominently to demonstrate the Bates families and the government's commitment to the NHS, a ploy which went slightly awry when it emerged that their 4-year-old son had received private treatment. Health did not ignite the by-election as it did in Monmouth, but it did help Labour.
What you have seen these last 4 weeks is the politicians of the two main parties using the health service to win an election.
While Paddy Ashdown claimed that Labour's privatisation allegations would not ring true, he proceeded to prove the error of his statement.
We oppose tooth and nail the privatisation of we oppose tooth and nail the opting out of the hospital trust. It even affects rational people like me. Goodness knows.
All 7 candidates gathered for a public debate. By the last week of the campaign, the main contenders were confident about handling the voters. It seemed at a loss for words when faced by Lindy St. Clair, the candidate for the Corrective Party, who had come to do some lobbying.
It was losing $1 million.
Like the constituency and the campaign, the debate lacked focus, even when the question was about the impact of job losses in British Steel, a key employer in the area.
We should have invested money into training. We should have invested money for further investment into the area. We should have looked at our road infrastructure. We haven't done that. The mere fact that there are still, at this moment in time, 5,000 people in Langbaurgh constituency still unemployed is absolutely a tragedy of the first order.
We take unemployment very, very seriously. We don't make cheap promises. Let me tell you here tonight, hear me out. I'm not going to stop talking till you've heard. The truth of the matter is that the Labour Party's minimum wage proposals will put millions on the dole queue.
The football supporters candidate deflected the row.
Steel, yeah, we need steel in the North East. You need it especially at the back, and it'd be a travesty if Tony Mowbray left Middlesbrough south.
This kind of debate was not going to switch many votes, but at the end there were some who said that the national political scene encouraged them to transfer support from the Liberal Democrats to Labour, a move detected by the polls taken during the campaign.
Now that the power of the extreme left wing seems to be moderated a little within the Labour Party, I feel more comfortable associating myself with those sort of policies.
Labour has been confident Ashok Kumar would win, but appeared they could lose support because he's an Asian in a nearly all-white constituency. Although he's an experienced councillor in the early stages of the campaign, he appeared uneasy and tense at news conferences. He was much more relaxed, surrounded by the impressive range of books in his Middlesbrough home.
If people have doubts about me, the only way was to confront what I have to say and share my ideas, my values, the Labour Party's ideas and Labour Party's values, and say that we have a common bond between us and hopefully win their hearts and minds. And I have done so from day one.
Have you found that some people did have doubts on this issue?
I think there'll always be people who would not vote for me because I'm black.
While all parties condemned anyone voting for racist reasons, the Conservatives stepped up their personal attacks on the record of Dr. Kumar in the final week.
He has been unmasked as an absentee councillor, but one with a record of rapidly escalating expenses. He's someone who condemned privatisation one week, but admitted to having made a personal profit from it only the next.
The Conservatives were accused by Labour of indulging in vicious attacks.
Well, they weren't personal attacks. They were actually drawing to the attention of the electorate certain aspects of his personality and the way he's conducted affairs in the public domain. And I think that is, fair game as far as I'm concerned. If you put yourself up for public office, then your public record is a subject of debate.
But apathy is a bigger danger for Labour than smears. This tightly organised barnstorming visit had one purpose: to get out Labour's maximum vote. In this Labour stronghold, turnout has been low in the past.
Encourage everybody to come out on Thursday night, don't forget.
The by-election lacked the dazzling coherence of the Skinning Grove parade, but the subdued campaign will provide a closer indication of the main party's standing compared with tonight's other contests, and will probably result in the election of the first Asian MP to represent a nearly all-white constituency.
That report from Steve Richards.